Kanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Hari Pancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhuve Vaja Vidana Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashatireshwari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, we'll start with 719. Try to finish it today. Very important sloka says Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarva Iti Samahatma Sudhurlapa Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Right? So after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all cause and all that. Such a great soul is very rare. So here Krishna explains, after many janmas, like 84 lakh species, in that 4 lakh human beings, in that so many janmas we take and we acquire spiritual knowledge. And at the end, in knowledge, actually in knowledge means understanding Krishna as the Supreme Personality, God at the cause of all cause. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Iti means he is the absolute. And then such great souls are not Durlabha, Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means very, very rare. So such people are called as Mahatmas. Prabhupada says you have to call them as Mahatma, somebody who surrenders to Krishna. So the rarity of pure devotees, that is Kevala Bhaktas mentioned here, and how long a jnani will take to qualify. So the previous slokas we saw the 4 types of people who surrender to Krishna, who doesn't surrender to Krishna. Those who surrendered, in that Krishna says jnani is the best, and jnani can become a pure devotee. So says Krishna said in the previous text that the jnani bhakta is fixed in him as a supreme goal, and he attains it. But how long does a jnani takes to become qualified as a pure devotee? Krishna will now describe that many janmas. So beginning of spiritual realization is one try to give up one's attachment to materialism, and there is some leaning towards impersonalism initially. But then later on, one understand that these activities in spiritual life will constitute devotional service. That's the best, and become attached and surrender to Krishna. So after, some of us would be the Mayavadis in previous janmas. We don't know. And then we would have been yogis, or, different ways you would have gone. We all would have gone in different forms of life. I mean, in human form itself, in different lives. And finally, we come to know that in so many janmas, with so many janmas and acquire the knowledge, we come to know Krishna as the Supreme Personality Godhead. Still, we are not able to surrender to Krishna, or we are not fully able to surrender. So those who surrendered are called Mahatmas. And understanding and realization of one's fully matured in knowledge, knowing that spiritual life is full of activities. It's not just inertia. Spiritual Krishna consciousness full of activities which are eternal and blissful, not just impersonalism or voidism. And material world is a perverted reflection of spiritual activities. Understanding Supreme Lord as the cause of all cause, Sarva Karana Karanam, and thus realizes a universal vision of Vasudeva, seeing all in relation to the Lord. And this vision precipitates full surrender to Krishna as the highest goal. So realizing the dependence on Lord's Krishna's mercy. As we advance, we come to know we can't live without Krishna's mercy. It's like the fish out of water. It's not happy. It has to go back to the water to be happy. The Supreme Personality Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. Therefore, they surrender. It is given a lot of references mentioned in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, and he says, life is the center of all activities in the body of a living being, and not the power to speak or hear. Similarly, Lord Vasudeva is the prime entity in everything, and all powers lose all importance if not related to the Lord. Because Vasudeva is all pervading and everything is Vasudeva, the devotee surrenders in full knowledge, because he knows Vasudeva Sarvamiti, everything is Krishna, and by surrendering to him, you achieve the goal of life. So that's what he says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, so many janmas we take, and finally surrender to Krishna. Kamaistaistraitair Kridatnyana Pravatyande Anyadevada Tam Niyamam Astaya Prakritya Niyata Swaya Those whose intelligence have been stolen by material desires surrender to demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. What are these people called as? I mean, those who go to the demigods. There's a word used in Bhagavad Gita. They called as what?
Alpamedasa.
Yeah, they called as Alpamedas. And the opposite is?
Sumedas.
Okay, you can't call them Muda because they're not really Mudas. Because Mudas are those who don't go to those who don't believe in the demigods also. They don't believe in any regulative principles. Like Prabhupada gives the example of ass that just work hard. Okay, so here it is said Alpamedas. Alpameda means less intelligent. Why? Because they go to demigods, you get material things, and it's temporary. Right, you worship the demigods and get big car, bungalow, and so much wealth and so many things, prosperity. But Mrityu Sarva Harashaham, death will take everything from you. But then you go to Krishna and ask for pure devotional service, that's going to stay for you. So, Yajantihi Sumedasa, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangas Varshnam Yitni Sankirtana Praye, Yajantihi Sumedasa. Sumedasa means most intelligent. So most intelligent people take up the Harinam, Yatne Sankirtana Praye, Sankirtanas Yatnya and Kali Yuga and worship Krishna. But Alpamedas are the one who have material desires and they go to demigods. Okay. And they follow the rules and regulations and they worship them. So when they worship the demigods, what happens? You go back to the demigods world. Yanti Deva Yada Deva, Pidriyanti Pidrivada, Bhutani Yadi Bhuteja, Yadi Matyajinopima. You worship the demigods, you go to demigods planet. Krishna says if you worship him, you go back to Krishna's world. So less intelligent. Intelligence have been stolen by material desires, Maya, Bhutajnana, or it's been like taken away by because of material desires, they go to the demigods. So people whose intelligence is stolen by material desires surrenders to the Devadas. Those who are freed from material contamination surrender to Krishna and engage in devotional service. So as long as material contamination is not completely washed away, then what happens? There is Punarjanma. And they are by nature non-devotees, and those who have material desires resort to the Supreme Lord are not much attracted by the external nature because of approaching the right way. They soon become free from material lust. Prabhupada explains the word devotee refers to the bhakta or devotee of Krishna. There is nothing like devotee of demigods. They are not considered as devotees. And also like Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Kirtanam refers to Vishnu. It's called Kirtan if it is referring to Hari or Krishna. The other songs of demigods are not considered to be Kirtan. That's what Prabhupada mentions. The word devotee refers to someone who's Krishna devotee. Krishna's, because that's the ultimate goal, right? We all been demigod worshippers before coming to Krishna consciousness. We can't neglect them. We pay our respect to them, but we don't have to worship them because we are watering the root of the tree. Or we worship them to get Krishna prem. In that way, not for material things. We should not go like the gopis of Vrindavan. They worship the Katyayani Devi. For what? To get Krishna as their husband. Not like that. That can be, in that way, they can be worshipped. Not for material desires, because the more we have material desires, what happened? We become more entrapped in Maya. We can't come out of it. So Prabhupada says, if you want to be materially successful as well as spiritually successful, it doesn't work like that sometimes, most of the time. In any condition, one should only approach Vasudeva. So there's a sloka from Bhagavatam. Akamo sarvakamo va mokshakama udariti tivrena bhakti yogena yajete purusham param. Akama, if you have no desires. Sarvakama, if you have so many desires. Mokshakama, if your desire is for liberation. Then tivrena bhakti yogena, what you should do? You should do devotional service to whom? Yajete purusham param, to the supreme whole, the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, so Krishna says, even if you want anything, just come to me. No, we should go to Krishna and should not approach anybody else. Because Krishna, anyway, the demigods are also how they are giving, because Krishna only is permitting them. No? Krishna gives the power for them or sanctions it. They're not independent, only Krishna is independent. So in any way, we have to surrender to Krishna. But even if we ask something from Krishna, the material things, if we deserve, we get it. Desire and deserve. Like that, but then we won't get Krishna. So if you want Krishna, then there should not be any material desires. And why do people go to the Devatas? Explained in the 20th sloka. That they are less intelligent and they have lost spiritual sense. They want immediate fulfillment of material desires. We go to, that's why you don't get much, see much devotees in the Vishnu's or Lord Krishna's temple, but the Devi Devata's temple, there's so much of crowd. No? Because they immediately fulfill. Lord Shiva is known as what? Because he fulfill your desires immediately. You can put in the chat. Was another name of Lord Shiva. Affected by lower modes, they do not go to the Supreme Lord, and they're motivated by small desires, and they do not know how to realize the Supreme Goal, Krishna. Satisfied by the rules and regulations of their worship, and they think demigods are better for certain purpose, like studying the Vedas, sun god for better health. Actually, I was shocked to see, I was in Vrindavan, and there was a Mataji there, and she was taking some water in the pot and offering to Surya Dev. And I was like, she's in the Dham, Vrindavan Dham, and there is Krishna here in the Dham, and you are going behind demigods. So, might be like, see, they've been trained like that from childhood. You can't suddenly leave it. No, that's good. You worship. But you worship Surya as the son of Krishna. Son, not eyes of Krishna, sorry. The eyes of Krishna. No? Prabhasmisha Surya, Krishna says. That's also Krishna only. No, it's Ashutosh, Subhamataji. Bholenath, I don't know why he's called Bholenath, but it's Ashutosh. Ashutosh means he's easily pleased, Lord Shiva. Why the Lord Shiva is easily pleased? Does anyone know? Why does he give material benedictions like anything, Lord Shiva? That's why he's called Ashutosh.
So that his meditation should not be disturbed, because he is always be meditating on Lord Hari.
Panchamukha Shiva bole Ram Ram Hare Hare. Chaturmukha Brahma bole Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. So Panchamukha Shiva has Lord Shiva has 5 heads, and with that he's chanting Ram's name or Krishna Lord's name. And he's meditating, as Mataji said. So someone meditates, and then someone keeps on disturbing you or calling your name. Now keep disturbing you, like, I want that, I want that, I want this. What do? Take it and go. Now when kids and all irritate you, you are chanting and you're like, what do you want? Okay, take, go. Because you're not able to concentrate, because there's a constant chattering going on. So you want to keep that person quiet. So what do? You fulfill their desire so that you can peacefully sit and chant. Similarly, Lord Shiva is meditating on the Supreme Lord. If you read Rudra Gita, you'll come to know how much he's Vaishnavana Meta Shammu. And then you are keeping on disturbing Lord Shiva. Please give me material things. Give me that. Give me this big house, children, that, this beautiful wife. Then what will Lord Shiva think? Okay, let me just fulfill that desire. But then if you ask for Krishna Bhakti, then Lord Shiva will be like very pleased. And he will give it just like that. Because he's a pure devotee, he can give you. And one of my friends was saying, because she was a Shiva devotee before, and Lord Shiva took her to Krishna consciousness. That's true. Now, when the demigods are satisfied by your worship, then slowly they take you to the higher, the boss. Now, when the supervisors are pleased with the worker, they go to the boss and promote the workers to higher level or increase the salary because they are satisfied. So similarly, we all were demigod worshippers, and somehow Ajnana Sukritis, somehow we pleased the demigods who are also Krishna's part and parcel. And because of them, we reach to Krishna. Okay, so in that way, but we should not approach them for material things. Initially we were, but now after reaching level 5 of Shastri study, we all should be a little bit advanced. The way we pray, the way we offer obeisance, everything should be a little bit of different, not how as a neophyte. But Krishna is pleased whatever way you approach him. Finally, you should approach him. No? And Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasa Bhritya. Ekala Ishvara Krishna. Krishna is the only Ishvara. Arasa Bhritya means everyone else are the servants of the Lord. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to the demigod for satisfaction of his material needs. It depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. Whatever Krishna gives, so he is satisfied. And what can we with 2 hands accept? Krishna is giving with 10 hands. What with 2 hands can we accept? And when Krishna takes something, he takes with 10 hands, and with 2 hands we can't hold it back. But why Krishna takes something from us? That's so that we don't get attached to those things and we go back to Krishna soon. Krishna supplies the faith and result of the demigod to the demigod worshippers. So he is the one. If you worship a demigod, it's Krishna who give you the faith. No, the young girls, when before marriage, they take Monday, they take upavas on the Mondays. No, that's for Lord Shiva, to please Lord Shiva, so as to get a husband like him. And then who is actually giving you that faith? It's Krishna. Krishna himself says that it's him who gives you the faith. Yo yo yam yam tanam bhakta shraddhayarchitum ichyati tasya tasyachalam shraddham tam eva vidadamyaham. I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one decides to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So it's Krishna only who's making us devoted to the demigod. Why? Why Krishna does this? Why Krishna is only making us go to the demigods? Huh? I think it's already there in the slide. Yeah, what do you think? Why Krishna is making us? Yes, Ganeshan Prabhu.
Because the individual has chosen to go to the demigod because of material, just a longing for material gains. So Krishna has given the permission.
Yeah, so one is that because that person desired it to fulfill that desire, Krishna does this, and that's the only reason. Yes, Sunita Mataji.
He doesn't want any disturbance, Mataji. He wants only pure devotees to come to him, Mataji, without any material desire.
Yeah, so he wants pure devotees to go to him, and all the other things are taken care by the demigods. He has different agents, not to take care. These are different. So if any small silly matter, the prime minister or the president doesn't interfere directly. He can give to the chief ministers or the small authorities who are this thing. But if you ask for moksha, who can give that? Bhakti pradatam sarvesham Vishnu revana samshya. If you ask for moksha, then you have to go to the boss. Then you have to go to the supreme person. But for others, as so minute independence is given to the living entities. As Prabhu said, yes, we had material desires, we want to fulfill that. So God had given independence to everyone. So if a person desires, soul desire, the super soul sanctions to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have all these facilities from material demigods, then the Lord as super soul in everyone's heart will give facility. Now, as a supreme father of all living entity, does not interfere with your independence, but also he gives all facilities so that they can fulfill the material desires. And living entity goes to the demigod because he's mad to fulfill his lust. So much of desire he has. Thus, when something undue is desired by the living entity, the Lord himself does not fulfill the desire. Okay, so the Lord directs them to the demigods. And yes, Krishna wants pure devotees to come. Anya Bilashita Shunya. Yes, although our Sugritis, material desires are all, they are also considered Sugriti, but Krishna is more pleased with pure devotion. Why all-powerful God gives facility to the living entities to enjoy and then fall into the illusionary energy? If the super soul does not give such facility, there is no meaning of independence. So minute independence is given. We should not misuse it. Both the living entity and the demigod are subordinate. The living entity cannot worship by his own desire, nor demigod can bestow benefit without the supreme will. So whatever we are getting from the demigods is also sanctioned by Krishna. Okay, an attitude of pure devotees towards Krishna and Krishna's reciprocation is demigod worship is material, and worship of the Supreme Lord is spiritual, because that's Shuddha Sattva. Demigods, they are also under the modes of material nature. But then the Supreme Lord is spiritual. So attitude of pure devotees that he knows everything comes from Krishna. Ishavasamidam sarva, everything belongs to the Lord, right? So what are we asking for? The pure devotee, when in need of something, prays only to the Supreme Lord, does not ask for material benefit. Asking for material benefit is not a sign of pure devotee. Prabhupada says, if a pure devotee asks for some material help from Krishna, he feels shameful to ask. Even though he has some material desires, he doesn't ask the Lord. And if he feels like asking also, he feels shameful to ask. In the sense, how can I ask this material things from Krishna? Krishna is ready to give himself to me. Krishna is ready to give moksha. Krishna is ready to give pure devotional service. And I'm asking all silly material things from him. And the devotee feels bad for that. So devotee never asks material things. And reciprocation of the Lord with the pure devotees for the living entity who desire to go back to Krishna, the Godhead, material desires are impediments. A pure devotee of the Lord is therefore not awarded the material benefits desired by less intelligent living entities. So that's why you can see Krishna devotees might be poor, or Krishna devotees may not be so living opulently like the other demigod worshippers. Why? Because Krishna wants them to go back soon, so that no attachment happens here. And results of the demigod worships, they perish. Antavattu phalam tesham tatbhavati alpamedasam. So alpamedasam. Here in the sloka, it is mentioned alpamedasam. Devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mam api. Men of small intelligence. Alpamedasa means small intelligence. Given in the 7th chapter, 23rd sloka. Alpamedasa. This is the term which is used to describe the demigod worshippers. And they are small intelligence, they worship the demigods. And their fruits are limited and temporary. The moment the body is destroyed, it's gone. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigod, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. If you worship Krishna, you go back to Krishna. You don't go to the demigods. This verse refutes the misconception that worship of demigod can take one to the Supreme Lord. Sometimes it is said, no, all the rivers flow to the sea. So whichever demigod you worship, finally you'll reach Krishna. Or finally you can go to Krishna's abode. That's wrong. That's wrong. Right? You take the ticket to Calcutta or Mumbai, the flight will go to Mumbai only. Will it go to Delhi? No. So you worshipping demigods, you go to demigods planets. You got the ticket for demigod planets. Swargalo. You go there. You get the ticket or you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is a ticket to Gologa, you go to Gologa. No, it doesn't go. So in that way, we should understand that we should worship Krishna in order to go back to Krishna. Or else we go to demigod's planet. And even if you go to demigod's planet, what is the result of going to demigod's planet? What will happen? What happens when you go to the demigod's planet?
After enjoying, like we have to come to this material world.
Okay. Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Shine punyam martyalokam vishanti.
Yeah, and then you come back, right? And there is Punarjanma there also. Brahma Punarloka Punaraftinojana. And Shine Punya Martyalokam vishanti. Yes, again taking birth in this material world once the Punya has over. So are we going for that? No, again you have to come down. Again you go, again you come down. It's not the right thing. No, so we should go somewhere where there is no coming back. If demigods are different part and parcel of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them. No, but demigod worshippers do not know to which part of the body the food must be supplied. It's supplied to the stomach. Even though you say demigods are part and parcel of Krishna, we can't worship any part and parcel. We have to worship the complete person. It's Krishna. Not only demigods, but all living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Mame Vamsho Jivaloge, Krishna says, Brahmanas are the head, Kshatriyas are the arms, Vaishyas are the waist or the belly, and Shudras are the legs of the Lord. And results of the worshipping demigods versus devotional service to Krishna, results of demigod worship is perishable. Because within the material world, the planets, demigods, and their worship are all perishable. Everyone gets perished. When Pralaya happens, everything, every loga will end. But devotional service to the Supreme Lord is unlimited, and His favor is unlimited. His mercy is also unlimited. That's why we should go to Krishna. Someone was saying initially, when we level 1 classes and also we say about Krishna, Krishna. That's how we preach that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. And then there'll be so many demigod worshippers, and they'll all go against, and they keep dropping. They don't come to us. And then slowly, some of them, they stay, they worship the demigods as well as they worship Krishna. And then slowly it goes, they advance, and they come to know that Krishna is the Supreme. And then finally, they worship only Krishna, right? So they say that, the Krishna conscious people are like converting the demigod worshippers to Krishna worshippers. So we're doing the best, no? But they don't realize it that time. But slowly they realize. And in fact, whoever demigods, whichever demigod you're worshipping, they become more pleased when you worship Hari, Krishna, right? Due to the small knowledge, they do not know that Krishna's higher nature is imperishable and supreme. Less intelligent they are. They are not able to take it. Same personas are unintelligent, abudhaya. So alpamedasa, sumedasa, abudaya. Abudaya means they are unintelligent because they don't worship anything. They just worship the light. At least the demigod worshippers are worshipping demigods. And finally, they'll go to Krishna. So indirectly, the demigods will guide them to Krishna. If we are sincere, definitely they will worship, because the demigods also want to give you the best. Now, if they give material things to you, it's perishable, it's temporary. So slowly the demigods will take you to their boss. So impersonalists are those who think the ultimate absolute truth is impersonal. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mam abuddhaya param bhavamajananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Unintelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before. They think Krishna was impersonal and now assume this personality. Due to the small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Abhuddhaya. Yeah. Abhuddhaya means unintelligent. Okay. It is given in this Shloka number 24. Abhuddhaya, unintelligent. Why? Because they are impersonal philosophy is that they think the Lord is impersonal, devoid of any form or attributes, and that it temporarily takes a personal form. They think temporarily he take a form. Thus, they consider the form and activities of the Lord to be Maya, and hence they are called Mayavadis. So, although they are detached from matter, they adopt various spiritual practices and they don't understand Krishna. Because they don't believe the form of the Lord, how will they believe the past tense of God? No, they won't. So it is clear that neither the demigods nor Krishna are impersonal, and they are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have their own. We get it from the Shastras. So impersonalists lack knowledge of Krishna, that Krishna is imperishable and supreme, Krishna is unborn and infallible, and Krishna knows the past, present, and future. They don't know it. The Mayavadis. And impersonalists, Srila Prabhupada quotes in the purport of different acharyas. Yamunacharya says, only devotees like Vyasdeva and Narad Muni can know your form and activities. Non-devotees under passion and ignorance cannot never know Krishna. And Brahma Samhita also says that Supreme Personality of God is not known by the study of scriptures like Vedanta literatures, but by the mercy of Lord. Vedesh durlabam aturlabam atma bhakto. Vedesh durlabam. From studying Vedas, we can't get Krishna. Yes, the purpose of studying Vedas is to know Krishna. But then just by mugging up scriptures, we won't be able to understand Krishna. It's only by the mercy of pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada and the mercy of the Lord we understand Krishna. Shankaracharya says Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Followers don't accept it. Therefore, they are less intelligent because they don't follow them. And that's what Shankaracharya says, Bhaja Govindam, right? And how to understand Krishna? Only by his mercy. Only by devotional service chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Then Krishna will Swayameva Spuratyada. Sevanmukhi Jihvato Swayameva Spuratyada. Then Krishna reveals. Then this is another important shloka. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha modo ayam na vichanadi loko mam achamageyam. I never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by the internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So we can't know Krishna if we can't know Krishna if we are foolish and unintelligent. Unintelligent people cannot understand Krishna, right? So why impersonalists who are detached from matter are all transcendental and still unable to see Krishna? Although Krishna's form and past tense are eternal, they are not visible to all. Because the Supreme Lord hides from the foolish and unintelligent, get covered by the internal potency. Why? Because they can't take it. They won't be able to take Krishna. Like there was an example. There's one iron rod. It's like red hot. Now when you put the iron rod on fire, it behaves like fire. So it was so red hot, and one crow thought that this is some fruit or something to eat because it's so red. And the person, everyone else told him, no, don't take it. It's very hot. No, you'll burn your beaks. And the crow was very unintelligent. The crow was like, no, I can take that iron rod, small rod. Just so red, he thought it's something to eat. And everyone told, no, let's cool down. Now, after a few days, it will completely cool down. And then it becomes very like a normal iron rod. Then you take or you touch. Now you don't touch. It's very hot. Because it's unintelligent, he went and touched, burnt the beak. So similarly, unintelligent people cannot understand Krishna. They can't take Krishna. So Krishna remains hidden from them. Like some devotees were saying, they live in Delhi, but they never went to Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan, Dham, scriptures, Bhagavad Gita was lying in your shelf for so many years, but we never read it. That's because the Shastras, the Dham, the spiritual master, Krishna, doesn't get revealed. Just like that. They hide from foolish and unintelligent people because we won't be able to take it. Srila Prabhupada quotes about Queen Kunti's prayers here. Maya javani kachennam ajnadokshajam avyayam nalakshase moda drisho nato nathya dharo yata. being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are eternally irreproachable. Factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So can someone explain this? An actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Raise a digital hand. Actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Means you can think about some movie, you can think about a role play or like a drama. An actor dressed as a player and is not recognized. Nobody knows? Try. Yes, Ganeshan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying, as you said. He forgets himself and he becomes that character. So that's what I thought.
What about the audience? What about the audience? Talk from the audience.
Yeah, even from the audience point of view, the emotional connect happens. They completely forget and they get attached to that particular character, and they totally forget the real self.
So yes. So when you say he's an excellent actor, because when you see the movie or when you see the drama or role play, you forget that person's identity and you get immersed to the character or you get attached to that character. No, so actor dressed as a player and he's not recognized. He's not recognized as so and so individual. He's recognized by that character. So similarly, the Maya will cover Krishna, and the foolish people think that is Maya, and the real Krishna is not revealed to them. Real Krishna. So that's why devotees try to understand about Krishna, hear about Krishna, so that Maya, the Jwala, that illusion energy moves, and we can understand Krishna. Because Krishna says, I'm revealing only to my devotees. And Krishna deserves the right of not revealing himself to all. Prabhupada says about Ishopanishad, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tattvam kushan apabruno satya dharmaya drishtaye. Oh my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and the devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray to you that you maintain me, and your transcendental form is covered by Yogamaya. The Brahmajyoti is covering the internal potency. So may you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes by seeing your Sachidananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. So that's what Prabhupada Course saying, that let that Maya get removed so that we can see Krishna, we can take darshan of Krishna. And then Brahma also prays, O Supreme Personality, God and a Super Soul, you are the master of all mystery. Who can calculate your potency and pastime in the world? You're always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you're present before them. So Brahma says, I can't understand Krishna. He says that. And 26 to 30, it's about freedom from bewildering by knowing Krishna. Vedaham samaditani vartamanani cha Arjuna pakshyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashana. Oh Arjuna, as a Supreme Personality God, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Mam tu vedana kashana. Nobody knows Krishna. Right? He knows past, present, future. He knows our previous janmas. Not only one, all janmas, but all of us. All the living entities, right? Krishna knows. Present janma and future also he knows, right? So we are stuck up like in the middle of the movie. We don't know what's happening, but Krishna knows. It says, Prabhupada writes in one of the Bhagavad purport, he says that how are we getting all the reactions of all the sin? We don't remember. No one else was the witness. Only Krishna as Paramatma was the witness. Now, when my soul was in a body of a thief, or whatever previous janma I was. So whatever sin I have done in that body, Krishna knows. So he correctly gives me the reaction, right? Because he's a supreme witness for all of us. He's Antaryami. He's as Paramatma, knows everyone's intention, and he knows what our desires are, what our actions we have done, everything he knows, right? So that's what Krishna says. Vartamanani cha bhavishyani cha bhutani. Everything Krishna knows. The living entity are trapped in the material world because of selfish desire, and they can become free by cultivation of devotion and surrender to Krishna in full knowledge. And the original sinful desire of living entity is to take Krishna's position as a supreme enjoyer, and original hate is towards Krishna because of the living entity's envy. So Krishna knows the past, present, and future. This verse defeats the misconception that Krishna's form is material. If he is material, how will he know our past and future? No, if Krishna's form is material, he can't, and he changes body. How can he remember? Why don't we remember our past? Because we change our body. Krishna instructed Vivaswan, right? Millions of years ago, but still he remembers and recalls because he has spiritual body. That's why it's called Krishna is unembodied. Unembodied means there is no difference between his body and soul. And he is not forced like us to take material body. This was also refute misconception that Maya can cover the Supreme Lord. If Maya can cover Supreme Lord, then Maya should be greater than God. No. Maya covers the non-devotees. Maya is not covering Krishna. Maya is covering us. I mean the non-devotees. I mean, for devotees it's Yoga Maya. For non-devotees it's Mahamaya. Sun covered by the cloud, right? Covering of the cloud is only apparent to our limited vision. Clouds cannot cover the sun, moon, and the stars, Prabhupada says. Right? How can a cloud cover the sun? Sun is so huge. It just cover our vision. Similarly, Maya is covering us, not the Lord. And in 27, the delusion of the jiva has been explained. Ichadveshe samuthena dandvamohena bharata sarva bhudani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Son of Bharata, a conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. So we're all in delusion. The real constitutional question is subordinate to the Lord who is in pure knowledge. Cause of delusion is because of separation from pure knowledge. Thus covers by the illusionary energy. What's the effect of the illusionary energy? There is duality of desire and hate. So they want to become one with the Lord. It's the original sinful desire of the living entity. Like Mayavadis, they want to become one with the Lord. The sinful desire. And they envy Krishna as a Supreme Personality Godhead, right? And think Supreme Personality is created by material energy. So these are all cause of delusion. This is what we are bewildered. And there are the dualities like disorder, honor, good, bad, pleasure, pain, man, woman, all these are dualities. So who can practice determined bhakti? Yesham to antakadam papam janana punya karmanam tveganda boha nirmuktam bhajante mam dridamrita. It's also another important sloka. What it says, Yesham to antakatam papam. Persons who are actually acted piously in previous life and in this life, and whose sinful activities are completely eradicated. Tesham to antakatam pama janana punya karma. They have done punya. Then they'll be freed from dualities of delusion, and they engage in my service with determination. Bhajante mam dhritamrita. So how does it happen? Like now the question is, did the chicken come first or the egg came first? So similarly, should we end our sinful activities, then do bhakti? Or it is said, yeah, a person who have acted piously in previous life and whose sinful activities are completely eradicated. Should our sin completely eradicate, then we do bhakti? Is that the meaning here? Or you do bhakti and then the sin gets destroyed? How is it? But here it is, they said, Tesham to antakatam papam. Only those whose papa is completely eradicated can take to Krishna consciousness. But will that happen? Can that happen? But in order, yes, Suma Mataji, you say start bhakti, then the sin gets destroyed. But when you start bhakti, the sin should be destroyed, saying here. How does it work?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm very sorry for my throat. I'm not able to speak Mataji, that's me. Actually, in Bhagavatam Shloka, it is given, no Mataji, Sarva Kama, Akama and Moksha Kama. So all kinds of three kinds of people can go to Krishna, no Mataji.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. So we have to
we will have sins, however, with more of material desires.
You are saying in the chat simultaneously, right? Because the bhakti itself is purifying process now. Bhakti itself is purifying, right? By the mercy of some devotee, you start doing devotion service, the process itself is purifying. So we can't wait till all the papa gets eradicated. That's not possible, right? So we start bhakti by some, as you mentioned, yes, we've started, and then this is a process. All the sin gets destroyed on the process. Yeah, Atnyada Sukriti, you get it. Good. Okay. And for whom it's difficult to transcend the dualities, for those who are simple, atheistic, foolish, and decided. Process of being situated on a spiritual platform. Who can accept this process? Those who live practicing the regulative principles of religion, who acted piously in previous janma. That's what some Ajnana Sufritis we have done so as to reach to Krishna consciousness. And gradually they can meditate on the Lord. Best process is to elevation is possible by Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees. Who can practice determined bhakti? Okay, I'll come to that, but we'll have a breakout room first. You have to explain the qualities of those who can engage in Krishna service with determination. With reference to the verse and purport of 7.28, that is Yesham Tvantagatam Papam, explain the qualities of those who can engage in Krishna service with determination. Identify which quality is essential and explain why. I hope you got the question. I'll put in the chat. Prabhu, you are able to do like, you can copy the question and put it in the chat of the breakout room also. You're able to do that?
Is it possible, Mataji? I don't know. I haven't done it so far. I can just hold on it and is it possible to do it?
Yeah, just try. I have opened the chat to everyone. Just copy this chat and then you go to breakout room. You paste it in the chat box if possible.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Everyone now, all of you just copy it so that I don't know which breakout room you'll go. Okay, so that you know the question. Okay.
Correct, Mataji. Don't know who will go where.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Sumamats, you're not able to join. Why? Okay, so room number 2 is back. Room number 1 and 3 has to come. Close the rooms. Okay, I hope all are back. We'll take this discussion after just 2 more slokas, okay, so that we can finish this chapter. We are in 28 now. We'll finish one more sloka, 2 more, 29 and 30, and then we'll take up the breakout room discussion, okay, if that is okay. Jara marana mokshaya mam ashritya yadunti ye te brahma tadvidu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent people who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about the transcendental activities. So it is said that the Aham Brahmasmi concept, Aham Brahmasmi means I am spirit soul. So it refers to the Brahman concept, right? There is stage of no birth, old age, disease, and death there. And this Brahman concept is also present in devotional service. And one who attains a spiritual body become one of the associates of the Lord. That's that's Sarubhya Mukti you get. And Aham Brahmasmi, that's not the real concept. They say I am God, you're God. No, I'm spirit soul, and they think that they are one with the super soul. But that's not the real thing. But we should understand we are part and parcel of Krishna. Aham Brahmasmi, that's true, I'm spirit soul, but part and parcel of Krishna. And importance of Mam Ashritya means only Krishna conscious person can be really called Brahman and go to the supreme planet because they have no misgivings about Krishna and they're actually endeavoring to reach Krishna's planet. So pure devotional service is compared to other paths. The 4 kinds of impure devotees are there, no? They achieve their respective goals and also gradually become Krishna conscious, especially Jnanis. And demigod worshippers never reach the Supreme Lord in this supreme planet, less intelligent they are, and the Brahman realized person cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna. Another categories who also not Brahman, Apiputa, so worshippers of Archa and those who meditate on the Lord simply for liberation from material bondage. So here it is said about the 3 kleshas in the last sloka. Sadibhudat didhaivam mam Sadhyatnyam chaye vidu prayana kale puchamam devidur yukta chetasa. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, who be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods, and all the methods of sacrifice can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality Godhead, even at the time of death. So slowly Krishna is taking to the 8th chapter, saying that, you can see every last sloka of every chapter, there's a connection to the next chapter. So here it is said, at the time of death, how to know Krishna, even at the time of death. So that's why 8th chapter is coming. But here it is said about the 3 kleshas, the 3 miseries, because the Krishna conscious devotees can know Krishna at the time of death, and they are full in consciousness of Krishna and know Krishna as the Supreme Lord. And here it is said the Adi Buddha, Adi Deva, and Adi Yajna. Adi Buddha, the governing principle of material manifestation, Adi Deva, governing principles of demigods, and Adi Yajna, governing principles of all method of sacrifice. So at the end, Prabhupada mentions here in the purport that at the end, how do you remember Krishna? So that will be in the next chapter. No? So because we forgot our identity as this part and parcel of Krishna, and by gradual development of Krishna consciousness in good association, that forgetfulness of Krishna will be overcome. And then how to remember Krishna at the end. So chapter 7 summary is explaining how to become fully Krishna consciousness, beginning with the association of Krishna conscious person. It's a sure path, and person acting in Krishna consciousness never deviated from the path. They understand Krishna in the transcendental association, and they understand Lord as the governing principles of all the demigods also. And gradually they become convinced about the Lord. And at the time of death, he can never forget Krishna and get promoted to Vrindavan. So simply by hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord, all objectives will be fulfilled. This is Dridha Buddha, determined faith. That's the beginning of Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so that's how Krishna ends the Shloka chapter, and Prabhupada mentions that. It means in the next chapter, it is about attaining the Supreme. How do you attain at the time of death? So now we'll have a discussion where to explain the quality of those engaged in Krishna service with determination and identify which quality is essential and explain why. Okay, so we'll start room number 3. Who's ready to say? Akshay Prabhu, Chinnaswamy Ganeshan Prabhu, Pranashri Mataji, Ganeshan Prabhu, and Sharmila Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, we all are servants of the Supreme God. And we all, by default, we all are sinful and deceitful, and such people cannot attain Krishna. And only those who have passed their entire life practicing the religious principles, they have the advantage to, get rid of the sinful reaction. Once they got, out of the sinful reaction and they have conquered it, they can accept devotional service and gradually rise to pure knowledge. And as they rise, they are able to start engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness by meditating on Supreme God, and they start chanting and such activities. And with that, they are able to get into the next level of platform. And there they get the association of pure devotees, and that helps them to get delivered.
Okay. So that's the quality you see. Okay, room number 2, Gurnath Prabhu, Jodhilakshmi Mataji, Rashri Mataji, Madhuri Mataji, and Sunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The quality we need to do devotional service to Supreme Lord Krishna and with determination is we have to transcend above the quality of Icha and Dvesha. And we have to understand, we are our constitutional position as a servant of the Supreme Lord. And unless we understand this position, it is impossible to serve the Supreme Lord. And the other qualities which we need is we have to have acted piously in our previous lives, and we have to practice regularly the principles of religion, and we must render services to the devotees and less association with the materialistic people. And the sinful, atheistic, and foolish, deceived people cannot understand this principle because of devotional service, because they basically don't understand their constitutional position as the servants of Supreme Lord.
Yes. Okay. Yes, room number 1. Chitra Mataji, Madhu Mataji, Sindha Mataji, and Simana.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Jivira Sarupaya Krishna Nityadasa. To understand the constitutional position, Mataji, that is possible only by following first the regulative principle, acting very piously, number 1, and then being in the association of the devotees and rendering services to the devotees with the seva bhav, and for that dvandva moha nirmukta, to come out of the dualities. Only then it is possible to even realize our constitutional position that we are the daily dasas of Krishna and part and parcel of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so here everyone has said about the qualities that is required to engage in Krishna service with determination, and that's very important. Association will play a very nice role for determination. Now, if you're alone, you are not really determined. There might be some push, some self-determination, but then it becomes so dry later on, right? So association is very important. And yes, that quality which you all mentioned. So here we finish 7th chapter. So I request all of you to learn the slokas of chapter 7. So that is 7.5, 14, and 19. No? 3 slokas you can finish, might be like in 2 weeks. So if you accumulate everything, then it's going to be very difficult for you. So we'll start chapter 8 next week. And it is again 2 slokas, 8.5 and 16 from chapter 8. So as we finish the chapter, you try to finish the slokas also so that it's easy. Have a separate book for sloka. So it's easy to just go through it once and then understand, and don't just mug up. Then you will you can't retain it. Understand the meaning and then try to understand the verses. Okay. So no, Jnanis are why Suma Mataji, why Jnanis are said is because the chance of becoming pure devotees is better than Artho, Arthartho, and Jitnyasu. Okay, they want to have knowledge, but they are already in knowledge, like the 4 Kumaras. They are already in some knowledge. Only thing is they were worshipping the Brahman aspect. But later on, when they smelled the Tulsi, they became devotees. Right? So yeah, so that's why the chance of they becoming pure devotees is more than the Artho, Arthati, and Jitnyasu. So that's why Krishna likes everyone. But Krishna is saying that the Jnanis, once they acquire the knowledge, they don't have any other material desires. Okay, they want to know about Krishna. That's not material desire. No, that's spiritual. To know about Krishna, to know more about Krishna or devotional service is spiritual desire. So they have spiritual, this thing, they're inquisitive and not jnanasu. They're jnanis, they are already in knowledge, but they want to know more about Krishna. So in that way, they become pure. The chance of them becoming pure devotees is more when compared to artho, arthartho, and jnanasu. Because once their material things are fulfilled or their distress is taken away, they might go back to their material life. They may not take up devotional service or continue. And that's a proof of Corona, you see. At that time, so many came for the course, but then not everyone is able to continue. As you go to level 2, 3, 4, 5, get filtered and filtered and filtered, and only really serious devotees stay. I feel that all those who are coming for the level 5 course of Bhakti Shastri, you're serious because you want to advance, you want to improve, and you want to know more about Krishna. That's why you're in the course. Otherwise, you would have left. So Krishna is slowly purifying, just the cream layer. Prabhupada said once, it's time to boil the milk. Now you keep adding water to the milk or milk into the pan. There should be one, it will be very diluted. The milk is so diluted. Once you start boiling the milk, what happens? You keep stirring, becomes thicker and thicker and thicker now. And you can make nice sweets out of it and all. So Prabhupada's like, it's time, let's boil the milk. That means there were some devotees already with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's like, let me make them advanced. Instead of having so many stars, one moon is enough. That's what Prabhupada says. One full moon can illuminate the whole sky instead of shooting stars and falling stars. So that's why. So Krishna is like, jnanis, they are in knowledge. So they know more about Krishna and they become pure devotees. And one pure devotee is enough to spread Krishna consciousness, like Srila Prabhupada. One person is enough, no? If he is a pure soul. So initially, all of us come to Krishna consciousness through artho, arthartho, jnanasu. Unless you are very pious and unless you were a devotee in previous life and you have special mercy of Vaishnavas, you can come directly. But most of us come through artho, arthartho, jnanasu. But then because of Ajnana Sukriti, we stay because of some Vaishnavas. It seems if you have to become a devotee, some Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi had prayed for you. Somebody had desired that you become a Vaishnava. It is said that. Otherwise, we wouldn't become a devotee. So we should also desire others to become devotees. So that is one thing. Okay, so yeah, if you have some network issues, you're not able to join the breakout room. Still, I gave you options, but that's okay, Madaji. Okay, I have another class now, so we can leave. We can end here. Okay, we'll start with chapter 8. After chapter 8, we'll have our open book assessment.
Attendance, Mataji.
It was shared, no? Ganeshri Mataji shared long back. 747 she shared.
Yes.
Just go back to the chat, you'll see.
I'm not able to find it.
I'm not able to find Mataji. Please, can you please post again? Hare Krishna.
Actually, after breakout room, it has disappeared, Mataji.
Oh. Mataji, you can post it again.
Yeah, Mataji, ma'am.
Okay. So those who have not taken shelter, please take shelter. Those who have already taken shelter, please apply for initiation. Okay, that is also a next step for us to be serious in about devotional service. Unless you have some family problems and everything, you can wait. But if you have that intense desire, Krishna will definitely fulfill it. Please take shelter. Okay, for shelter, I think there should not be any restrictions. Please apply for shelter, or as don't go for aspire. You can directly go for shelter because you're all chanting 16 rounds, and aspire is for those who are chanting more than one round. But 16 rounders can go for shelter if you want. Okay.
Mataji, if we have to come to Mangalore for that soft opening ceremony, Mataji, it's only the link we have to book through only that link, or is there any other means, Mataji?
There is phone pay and all to Prabhu's number. You can write to mail to namadas@gmail.com. You want to do direct bank transfer?
I can do that also, Mataji. Actually, no, I mainly want the Seva, Mataji. 2 days only to do Seva, Mataji.
Yeah, you can mail Prabhu, namadas@gmail.com, mentioning that we are not able to go through the link. And Prabhu will make some arrangement because it has to officially go, no?
Okay, Mataji.
Just write a Prabhu. He'll reply.
There was a WhatsApp number to that number. I sent message, but there was no reply, Mataji.
No, mail. You mail Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Bole.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah Vaishnavaki Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ganesh Prabhu.